What's going on, everybody? It's Peter from Buckeyes Battle Cry back with another one. We have Gene Smith talking big game about Michigan in the last 3 years and the wins over Ohio State. You know, we try and make Ohio State focus and Ohio State centric videos, but with the rivalry as big as Ohio State Michigan, Michigan keeps opening their mouth about Ohio State, and Ohio State keeps opening their mouth about Michigan. They're constantly on each other's mind. That's what the rivalry is, and it's part of what makes the rivalry as great as it is. It's not just one Saturday in November every year. It's in the social media age and the social media era that we are in. This is a 24/7, 365 thing. And if you're not fully focused on the rival and what they're doing and what they're up to, you're not trying hard enough, really. So Gene Smith, the outgoing athletic director for the Ohio State Buckeyes, was asked a question about the last 3 years and the victories that Michigan has had over Ohio State, and should they have an asterisk next to them or not. He said, "Of course I do." Interesting. I got some thoughts on that one. Now, we here at Buckeyes Battle Cry have already made our case on what we think Ohio State needs to do, and they need to look forward, not looking back in the rearview mirror about what's transpired in the past. Yes, they did step across the lines, but we still didn't beat them on the field. Cheaters can still be beaten on the football field. There are things that can be done to overcome that. It didn't help Ohio State's case. It certainly didn't. But they could still have the talent and the scheme and the coaching to outdo Michigan. Now with Sherrone Moore coming in, that really changes things because, Harbaugh was a good coach for times in his career. He certainly struggled to get the ball rolling, and that was hilarious to us. We loved that. But the last 3 years have been a little bit different story. But here at Buckeyes Battle Cry, we believe it's time to move forward and march forward and beat them on the field in November. No more talking about the past. No more talking about the history. Move forward and beat them. Take what they've taken from us. Take back what we had for the majority of this century. Take it on the field and do it. Prove that you can beat them and go out and get those victories. We want to see a new streak started for the Buckeyes. We want to see another 7-8 years going. And with the coaching staff, the way it was, Harbaugh just plucked it completely, except for Sherrone Moore, of course. And we believe the opportunity is there for the taking. It's right for the taking. So go out and do it, Buckeyes. Make it happen on the field. You've got the superior talent. Go ahead and do it. I've always been a big supporter and fan of Gene Smith and what he's done. He's done tremendous things for the university, all the athletic programs, not just counting football. Chris Holtmann was not a great hire from Butler, admittedly, but the varsity sports and the other sports like lacrosse and swimming and diving and tennis and women's basketball, he's made some tremendous hires in his 19-year tenure at Ohio State. But he's kind of taking a shot because he's leaving. And he can do that because he won't have to take the heat much longer. He's leaving in June. And so he's taking this shot now, knowing that Ross Bjork will have to answer the same questions when he is appointed athletic director coming up here in June. We don't like that Michigan won the national championship. We didn't want that to happen, of course. But it's time to move forward. That is in the past. It's in the rearview mirror. This 2024 Buckeye team is so loaded. There are no excuses for losing. And that puts a lot of pressure on Ryan Day coming up this year. So the pressure is on for him to succeed and win and be victorious in just about every game with as much talent as the Buckeyes have on this loaded roster. Questions remain at quarterback and offensive line, of course. Will Howard, in my opinion, will likely be the starter entering the season, and we'll see how he plays. He's got the most experience of any other Buckeye quarterback in that QB room. The right side of the offensive line has some issues. Center and left guard and left tackle are pretty much taken care of and spoken for with some solid returning players, and McLaughlin, the transfer. And, of course, the defense is going to be loaded. Probably the best in the nation, if not top 2 for sure. They were top 3 this last season. They returned essentially everybody except Mike Hall and added Caleb Downs to it. So our stance is take this thing on the field. Go get the victory. It's in Columbus. Get it done. That's it for today for Buckeyes Battle Cry. Go Bucks, and God bless. Have a great one.